So Mohammed, you can spot an Iranian in the room because they're more than likely wearing a grey, shiny suit. No, that's the easy method.
Well, yeah, pretty much. We all wear grey, shiny suits.
But aside from the clothing, because let's face it, Mohammed, maybe Iranians are going to other nations and blending in. You're not going to spot them so easily.
Wearing disguises like dark blue navy suits or black suits or maybe T-shirts. They might be wearing T-shirts.
They could be doing that.
Yeah.
So aside from how they'll visually look, you can figure out who they are simply by hearing the things they say. So the sounds, the grammar, sounds, or different ways of pronouncing words are going to give up the game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for me, I can figure out if someone's Iranian even though they may not look Iranian. So one example here, Mohammed, is that most Iranians can't really actually say my name.
What do you mean we can't? David.
David, exactly. So it's E, so it's David.
Yeah, it's David.
But they'll say, exactly, like David.
Yeah.
Like that.
David.
Which I kind of like in Iran, actually, because Iranians will never shorten my name. They'll never say Dave.
Oh.
It's always
Yeah,
David.
it's always David.
So it's all when I go back to England now, when people are like, Dave. Oh, Dave. Like that. It's
Hello.
like, what? Who's Dave?
Dave.
Oh, it's me. Oh, you mean me? Like that is how it goes. But one of the sounds there is I, but the word that uses all the sounds that Iranians can't use would be with. So W. You'll maybe hear Iranians joke with other Iranians about how they're incapable of using W. So
I don't know why you say that.
Exactly.
But
what do you mean? Why are you making fun of
what
me?
is the point of it?
So W, I, and then TH, Mohammed. TH is another. How do we not do?
We simply don't do it. We go
How do we
de
say,
or
yeah.
te.
How do we say this word?
These bunch of letters.
What do we do?
These two letters cannot be pronounced. We don't thank God, we thank God.
Tanks, and we don't even, we go one step further. We thanks God. We thanks.
Because one tank is not enough for God.
We have multiple tanks to provide for God as and when is needed. So what other sounds are not in the Iranian alphabet or soundscape? Is there anything else?
I personally find THS in the end of the words very difficult to pronounce.
You yourself?
Like
Okay.
months. Like 12 months.
Months.
That's how
Months.
That's how I
That's kinda
generally
tricky.
pronounce it. It's just like it is almost impossible for me to be able to pronounce months. How do you pronounce it?
Months. Yeah, it's kind of tough.
I try to do the same, but
Months.
I also cannot say February.
February.
Yeah.
February.
Or whatever the opposite of singular is, that is plural.
Plural. Plural. Yeah.
Plural.
People are looking for multiples.
Or-
They simply need to look out. Plural.
Yeah, I personally can't say vulnerable.
What was that one?
Vulnerable.
Warnable.
Yeah.
What's that?
That's what?
Wearables.
No, it's just like vulnerable. That's when you have a weakness, when you're.
Oh, vulnerable.
Yeah, I cannot say that.
What's that?
Vulnerable. That's a difficult thing.
I thought you were describing some small insect or worm or
Yeah.
something like that.
There you go.
Well, we shouldn't laugh too much because, of course, this is the other way around. There are sounds that Iranians use that I struggled with at the beginning. So the obvious ones are re, r, which is interesting. When I spell out words to Iranians and I'll say like AR or something like that, and if they're writing in front of me, they'll write AA.
They won't. Is also A.
Yeah, I'll have to really enunciate the R. I have to say AR like that, and then they get that one.
10 years ago when we first met, you couldn't pronounce khe.
Yes.
The hard H.
Which we had in another show, so that would be Khastan Abushid.
Yeah.
Both you and I have a character that is actually
some people we know have a character in their names that
not you and I,
like,
of course. Yeah.
Someone you and I both know.
Qeh.
Yeah.
So this one's a tricky one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I find the foreigners that have come to Iran don't really struggle, like khair a little bit, maybe. They'll say like Khastan Abushi.
You sound very annoying.
But they'll just make it khair. Yeah.
Hasta nabashid. I've heard that one.
Yeah.
Like the soft H instead of they're trying to do the hard H, but they cannot do that, so they stick to soft H.
What about ge? How is they just say ge? No. So Mohammed, for a short period of time, I think I maybe mentioned this before, but I lived with my grandmother, my grandmother's Tork, and that was her first language. So I was learning Persian beside her or with her, and I was picking up the accent. And the Turks, people laugh at the Turks. They shouldn't do. How dare they? Make fun of the Turks because they won't say, or a certain section of the Turks won't say qeh. They won't say that. Everything just becomes ge, like that. So I was a little bit overly sensitive of picking up the accent after I realized I was picking up the accent, that I started to say every word with qeh.
I remember that.
I still do it. And people are like, so the word for cat is gorbe. But I still can't get it out of my head. I'm still saying gorbe. I go over the top with the qeh.
I love the gorbe thing.
Gorbe.
Probably I'll call all the cats gorbe from now on.
Or it's more like the Turk way, goibe.
What is the Azari or Turkish word for gorbe?
I'm sure it's goibe. it's like goibe. That's how my grandmother used to say it. God bless her, so I shouldn't mock her. She taught me a lot with a weird accent on top. So what else? Do we have any other sounds that the foreigners struggle with here, Mohammed? What have we not? Je. We have a je. It's not an English thing, per se. Yeah.
Because like the khe, maybe not the khe, because I think the most problematic sound for foreigners, non-Iranians, would be khe.
Yeah.
Khe, there are a lot of people who do khe. The rolling R.
The rolling R I can't do. Or, I mean, I can do it, but it was... I
can't do it. That's why a lot of Iranians think I was raised outside of Iran because I can't do the R, but I can't do it because half of my tongue is paralyzed.
And here I was thinking that Mohammed was showing off that he's been in another country for so long. He's like, no,
it's because like I got a disability. So.
And yet here we are.
I think the most problematic.
Yeah, here we are on a podcast using it. I'm making fun of it right now.
But no, I seriously can't, and I still think that unlike me, a lot of other people from different nationalities can pronounce the rolling R and khe, the hard H. If you're speaking Hebrew, you can pronounce it. There's a lot of hard H in that. In Arabic, Germans, of course, can, and probably a lot of other people.
We need a break.
Let's take a break.
This sponsorship section is loosely based on a true story.
Good day to you, fine sir.
Do not bother me, child. I have no money for you.
It is not your charity I'm after, fine sir. I'm a modern-day merchant. I sell merchandise.
You should be in school. You should be studying hard so you can make something of your life.
Pedasek.
Excuse me? What does that mean?
I have dog hoodies with the words Dogfather or Pedasek on.
But you are empty-handed, child. Where are these fine merchandise items you speak of?
Why, they're online, sir. Visit the Ask an Iranian site to browse my t-shirt. I'm f***ing it up. Visit the Ask an Iranian site to browse my t-shirts, mugs, cushions, stickers, and more.
I have heard of this place, www.askaniranian.com. Should I simply click on the shop button?
Why, of course, fine, sir.
So that is askaniranian.com/shop?
Yes, sir. Be my guest. askaniranian.com/shop.
So that was askaniranian.com/shop?
Yes, of course, you good sir. It was askaniranian.com/shop.
Pedasuchte.
Excuse me, sir.
Nothing, I just wanted to congratulate your entrepreneurial ways. Ask an Iranian, do not employ children to wander around the streets in hope of sales. Should a child approach you and suggest as much, they are being a pedasuchte.
No real children were used in the making of this sponsorship section.
The Ask an Iranian shop is unfortunately blocked for those residing in Iran, and we can only currently deliver to the United States and Europe. Not that anyone in Iran would spend that much money on any of the items we have there anyway.
Of course,
Muhammad, there's another one here that's a bit kind of funny for me, really, because words that begin with S in Iran don't begin with S.
They begin with an E.
They begin with an E.
Yeah.
Which is funny. I mean, one easy, obvious example is the ride-hailing, the taxi apps, similar to Uber. We have one here. It's called Snap. Or is it called Snap, Mohammed? What do we call it?
Snap.
Snap. Actually, on the app, it actually says that as well. When you, actually, you've been in the cars when they cut the ride short and you haven't arrived and they're getting their next customer.
Yeah.
They always do that. It drives me nuts.
A lot of people do it.
Snap is the sound that you'll hear as they're picking up trying to get another customer before they've gotten rid of you. But what other words? Ski.
Ski.
Ski for skiing. Start. Mohammed, is it always the case? Is everything beginning? It's not everything beginning with S. No, because like you'll have a girl's name, Sarah. You won't call her Sarah.
It's not like ski, where S, which is a consonant, followed by a K. A consonant is followed by a consonant. Another example is, let's combine it with a TH we can't pronounce. Stealth is estilt. Or estilse.
So it won't just be words beginning with S that will be like this. I mean, Trump, as in Donald Trump. But
problem. It's problem.
Yeah. Give us some other examples here. So, where you ask an Iranian who kind of speaks all right English, so, Veroy ferom.
Ferom, yeah.
So somehow similar in the reverse. For me, like me reading Persian is tricky only when I come across like an English word. Like I get stuck. I can read the Persian fine, but as soon as I get to an English word, I get stuck. If I'm reading an article and it mentions Twitter,
yeah,
and I had to wait a little bit. Like, Twitter,
yeah.
Foreign names as well written in Jonathan.
There's Jonathan
living Estan. It's kind of hard for me to read Persian. I imagine any of our foreign listeners who picked up a little bit of the alphabet, they can read through the words. They're going to struggle, like me, getting to those English words or foreign words and not be able to say any of them. Mohammed, there's another interesting one, like acronyms and abbreviations. So I see this like with billboards. So billboards around town, if they'll have like, I don't know, WMF or BMW, I don't know, KFC, not that we have KFC billboards around town, but so you'll see these, but the translation for these, I mean, they're phonically translated, so you wouldn't have the characters. I mean, we have like M as a character, meme, but you won't see M on its own on the billboard as part of, like, for example, WMF. You
transliterate like W, write a dal, a B, a lam, a yeah, and a vav. That would read W. To write W in Farsi, you have...
How many characters?
5 letters and a space. So 6 characters if you want to type it in.
Just for one single character. So Mohammed, going back to our friend Aziz, listener of the show, he had a question here. How do you spot the Iranians in the room? You're going to spot them by phrases, probably. So there are, I feel a bit bad now. We're going to be having some fun with phrases. Are we going to be a little bit rude here by mentioning some of these phrases, or is it fine to say we can?
To my opinion.
Do you always say? Is this something, Mohammed?
Yeah, I always do that.
I'm trying to.
David keeps correcting me. It's in my opinion. So a lot of us say to my opinion. I do.
One that I enjoy, I am agree.
I am agree is awesome.
As in I agree. I am agree. So you'll get this in meetings. Actually, it's kind of weird, this, Mohammed, because the meetings that I go to, often there's a lot of marketeers, people who've studied MBA. Rarely in the meetings will they stick to Persian, and it kind of irritates me because I know that there's Persian words available for a lot of what they say, but they'll be using
I've heard
terminology.
I've heard Iranians say in Farsi, "Man agriyam." That is,
I'm fine with that if they're not saying I am agree. That's fine. Or they'll say like, it doesn't worth it, Baba. Not that they're
not worth. It doesn't
worth it. Yeah, instead of it's not worth it, they'll be saying it doesn't worth it. And then thanks God.
Thanks God, of course.
Or a one on a popular satellite television program. A lady, I believe, uses such a vow or such a wow.
Can't imagine.
Or like, that's so amazing. I've heard a couple of times like, don't be stressed. Don't be estrés.
Or don't estrés.
Don't estrés. Yeah, don't be stressed. Yeah, there's another one.
People using the term make sense. It makes sense mikone.
Yeah, there's a lot of this.
Makes sense ne mikone.
That's odd because when Iranians do add English words...
Sorry.
Mohammed never coughs until we hit record. As soon as we record, he can talk fine, he'll never cough. And then as soon as we hit record, suddenly a cough arrives. That's fine. You'll never hear it throughout the rest of the day. So yes, Iranians do this. And for me, it's odd because like the English word that will get used is a verb. And then they'll add the Persian verb on top of that. So it's like do for me. Like they'll, make sense. Like it's making sense. Yeah, that's the verb. Mikone.
Is there anything else that we can add to the list of weird things we say or the things we can't pronounce?
Mohammed, let's put this to our audience because I think we do have a Iranian listenership, a diaspora Iranian listenership. Thank you for listening in. I'm sure we've missed some. So do send us any of the amusing, odd examples of how you can figure out you're talking to an Iranian or that there's an Iranian around. So if we've missed any of the phrases, send us any of the phrases and we will thank you for those.
We definitely will thank you. If we have missed anything, give us your comments in our social media on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Also, you can go to www.askaniranian.com and comment on our posts. If you have any questions for us, you can also send your questions to questions@askaniranian.com. So thank you for joining us on this episode again.
And we'll look forward to having you join us for the next show.
Khodafez.